morning and happy Friday. I am so excited. I have a lot more energy than normal for two reasons. One is because today is National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day, and if you guys know me, you know I volunteer at the Franklin County Dog Shelter every weekend, and it truly is a passion of mine to adopt and not shop. So, um, that, and then we're starting our new unit today with the Renaissance, Reformation, and Scientific Revolution and Enlightenment. And I'm so excited because this is one of my, where did my tissue go? My eyes are watering. This is one of my favorite units to teach. And there's just so much information, and we're going to be looking at music and art and science and math. And I just get so excited about this unit. I really do. Our lesson today is going to be a little bit different because I need us to be able to identify the main causes and ideas of the Renaissance. So the lesson's kind of repetitive. It has a lot of information. It's a little bit longer, but it's a little bit longer as far as information, but the workload for you is pretty light because you're mostly just filling in a graphic organizer that I need you to be able to have on you all the time. So with that, we have our intro, and then we have some notes and then a couple questions, really not a lot. You're mostly filling out a graphic organizer, and you'll be doing some of that independently at the end of it as well. But let's get started. All right, so there's going to be some things you'll need to fill in. But let's go ahead and get started with the Renaissance. This is the time of rebirth from 1300 to 1600. This is Leonardo da Vinci. This is the printing press. This is why we have books now. And then we also have William Shakespeare over here. So what you need to fill in is this time of rebirth. So one of the main things I need you to know about the Renaissance is that literally the translation of Renaissance in Latin, which was the language of the church, is Renaissance means rebirth. And that happened between 1300 and 1600. And this began in the wealthy trade centers of Venice and Florence in Italy. We're going to take a look at a map in a second and see how those cities became so wealthy. So here I have this map for you of Europe, and we see from the east, Eastern Empire and the Muslim empires, also Muslim empires here, we see a lot of trade happening over here. This is also, remember how the Black Death spread from east to west, and so these cities, Florence and Venice, become extremely wealthy. We see a lot of cultural diffusion. What's cultural diffusion? This is where we've kind of gone through for the entire year. Right, this combining of different cultures and ways of life to create kind of this emulsion of these things. So this is the graphic organizer that you're going to be pretty much filling out the entire time. And I did the first one for you, but these are all of our reasons or main ideas of our causes and main ideas of the Renaissance. And you must have this filled in for full credit. And that includes all of them. So you're going to be filling them out throughout the lesson. And then also at the very end, you're going to be filling out the entire thing again. It seems kind of repetitive, but it is essential that you know these terms because we'll be talking about them for the next couple weeks. And if you don't know what humanism is, you're not going to understand anything about the Renaissance. So the first cause of the Renaissance would be trade. And what trade did was it created a wealthy class or a wealthy group of people who became patrons of the arts. Great, got it, get it. Trade makes everyone wealthy for the most part. This has been significantly consistent through our studies. But what the heck is a patron? A patron is a person who supports the arts or other activities by supplying money for them. So they essentially would pay someone or give an artist. So if like someone just bought a house and they wanted a really amazing painting in their house and they wanted a painting by Leonardo da Vinci, they would pay Leonardo da Vinci to paint something for them so that they could hang it in their house. We start to see this because people have all this. Well, actually, I'm not going to do that because it's question one, and I want you to figure it out on your own. So, why would a wealthy class become patrons or become a patron? Or why would a wealthy class member or wealthy class become patrons? So, why would these wealthy people start giving artists money to create these pieces of art for them? So, go ahead and pause the video and think about that. All right, so a wealthy class would really become a patron because wealthy people had this abundance of money. Their basic needs were being met. They had food, they had clothes, they had shelter, they had all their basic needs, but they have all this extra money. And so they wanted, now this wasn't everyone, this was a wealthy class. This was a specific group of people. And so what they wanted to do was beautify their city states, their homes, the Pope. So think about people that have like a wealthy class today. People that wealthy want to like do things to their homes to make it better. So they might put in a swimming pool. You don't have to have, not every house has a swimming pool. You don't need a swimming pool to survive, but it's nice to have one. And so some houses have basketball courts, some wealthy houses have tennis courts, some, it's like they're just doing things to their houses, they're adding things to make them seem more luxurious and better. And so they wanted to do that then. They also wanted to do that to their city states to make their city look pretty, and they also wanted to please the Pope because the Pope still is very powerful during this time. So lifestyle during this times, you had shops and businesses. For the most part, so this was like these were the common people here. You had them living above shops and businesses. It was very crowded. Garbage was there was no waste system, so garbage was literally just thrown on the street. But wealthy people did have large homes, but they also had little privacy. They had lots of servants who often just slept on the floor. So the second bullet point or second circle you need to fill in for idea of the Renaissance is classicism. And classicism is the revival or rebirth or coming back of Greek and Roman achievements and writing. So we're actually going to kind of go back to the beginning of the year where we talk about those classic thinkers like Aristotle and Plato and things like people like that. So go ahead and pause and finish getting that, and then you can play when you're ready to move on. All right, so classicism. This was again renewed interest in Greek and Roman culture. This kind of, so for example, like this is Michelangelo's David. This is in Florence. You can go see this today. I was lucky enough to be able to see that. I was only 12, so I had like no idea what I was looking at. But again, we're going back to that Roman idea of the ideal body and kind of creating art of what the body actually looks like that's realistic. And so idealized figure and accurate proportions. You can literally see his muscles, and it's accurately done. It's not like, I don't know, I think of like Beauty and the Beast where Gaston just has these like bulgy biceps for no reason. Our third idea of the Renaissance is a questioning spirit. What does that mean? So we'll get to that in just a second. But this particular man, Petrarch, was a Renaissance writer and a humanist, and he collected Greek writings. And this is what's extremely important, is that he wrote secular, not religious poetry about love and life in the here and now, and not just in the afterlife. So I want you to answer this question before we deep dive more into what questioning spirit means. How does Petrarch's questioning spirit differ from that in the Middle Ages? So just looking in this bullet point here, how does his spirit differ from that of the Middle Ages? So if you see here, I underline not religious. If you remember from the previous unit, the arts, writing, music, art during the Middle Ages or the Age of Faith was centered around religion. What we're going to start seeing is during this time, it's not going to be centered around religion. It's going to be about daily life and feelings and those, which was not done previously in the Middle Ages. So you can pause if you need to and get that down, and then I'm going to move on. I'm moving pretty fast. The next one is intellectual and artistic creativity. So this is where I'm actually going to send you on your own. You are going to continue to go through and read just the bullet points. You really aren't filling out much. And you're just filling out the rest of the circles. So you have it all filled in here. And then you're filling it all over again for me. And that will show me exactly that you know exactly what this is. This is also a slide that you're probably going to want to make a copy of or save and keep this on you. It's almost like a keep sheet. Well, not almost, it is a keep sheet because you will need this for the entire unit. And with that, I hope you'll have a great weekend, and we're going to dive into some humanism on Monday. Bye, guys.